everybody, it's Georgia Rose from Zencuda. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's just that all this stuff was happening behind the scenes because we're still remodeling our studios at Strong Island in Massapequa, and I am in my home studio, and it was a little dicey here for a few minutes, and so it was a lot going on behind the scenes, and I just thought it was funny. So anyway, welcome to the Soul Space. I hope you are enjoying this evening. I am trying to be joyful, even though I have a lot of really heavy crap going on in my life. We allowed to say crap on public access? I certainly hope so. I have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of endings and beginnings and wonderful things, and just trying to find my place in the soul space. So welcome tonight. I am here every Monday at 7 o'clock, and Zencuda is a community that we all are actually giving each other a hand up, elevating ourselves on the journey to finding our true soul purpose and living our best lives. So welcome into the community. If you want to share my show, I would really love that. I'm going to share the show a little bit and make sure that everybody out there knows I'm on, because I know a lot of times in the soul space, I always get comments and questions. I couldn't find you, or, oh, I didn't get to see the show live. You can always watch the playback of the show. We are on channel 115 on cable on Fridays at noon. So you can actually kind of have lunch with me. And we are also on Instagram. We are on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Alexa, all of them. And also we're on strongisland.com. My YouTube channel is Zencuda, so you can always find the show. So I'm here every Monday night at 7 o'clock, and I usually have spiritual wisdom. We do astrology, tarot. Sometimes I have special guests from the spiritual world. So tune in. You can always find me. So tonight we're going to talk about the full moon in Leo that is coming in on the 5th, which I believe is Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. Which day is that? Let me look at my little calendar here. The 5th is Sunday. Sunday is the full moon. And this is building up a lot of energy. So just wait till you hear what I have to say about that. And then we're also going to maybe pull some tarot cards for some people in the audience. So if you have friends who you think might want a card tonight, give them a buzz or share the show with them. So I am going to share the show with a couple of people tonight, myself included, and that's live now. And then I'm going to go to the comments and see who is on tonight. So, okay, let's see who's on. I got Elaine on. Hey, Elaine, how are you doing? Good to see you, sweetie. And Janine's on. Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Bonnie. Aaron. Aaron's back. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. I know I seem a little scattered, a lot going on. I actually have a friend in hospice, so that's been on my mind. You know, I work a lot with the Cancer Coalition in my town, and for breast and gynecological cancers, our Pink and Teal sisters, and a couple of our sisters are really in the end days now, and it's a little heavy stuff. But I think right now the energy is also one where we have quite a few endings and beginnings. Even animals I'm seeing really kind of end and begin lately. And a lot of that is because of where we are in the solar system and some of the cosmic energy coming in astrologically. So if you have any questions about anything that's going on out there or in your own life, definitely put a comment in the chat and I'll answer it. And also you can always call into the show live anytime. Bobby will put that number up on the screen. And call in anytime. So a couple of things that are happening this week I want to talk about. The week of January 30th to February 5th, and we end this week on Sunday with the full moon in Leo. A lot of energy coming in. Main energy of this week has a lot to do with the planet Uranus, which is a planet that brings sudden, unexpected changes. It's the planet of revolution. And if we look at the definition of revolution really is, you know, think about something revolving, right? So if you think about a circular sphere, a lot of times revolution goes back also, not just forward. So sometimes revolution can be an energy that overthrows something to take back something. For instance, taking back our own freedom, taking back our own power. We might have a revolution in order to do that. So sometimes revolution doesn't just mean progress. It's change for the sake of progress, but sometimes it also means changes that bring us back to our own power and the way things are meant to be. So this week is definitely going to be a big week for that. We are going to see a lot of changes come through for a lot of us. Some of us might get through this week very subtly and might not have a lot of change, but I think the majority of us are going to have some big changes this week. This is a week where we have conflict. We've got the Sun and Uranus in a square, which is an energy of conflict. It's an energy that is two energies vying for the same spot. Uranus is in Taurus, the Sun is in Aquarius. And then we also have the full moon coming in Leo. So that means that the moon in Leo is directly opposite that Sun in Aquarius that's squaring Uranus, which means that the moon is also squaring Uranus. And what that does is it forms a T-square in the sky. Pretend, the moon is here, Sun is here, and then Uranus is directly in between the two over here. So you've got this like T position. And whenever we have a T-square in the sky, it's a conversation of tension, very intense tension, especially with the planets that are involved in this. We've got the Sun, which is our truth. The Sun is who we are. The Sun is what we absolutely know to be true about ourselves. And then we have the moon, which is an energy of what we feel we know about ourselves, because the moon is our emotions. And then we have the planet Uranus squaring both these beautiful bright lights, luminaries in the sky. And Uranus is a planet of revolution. It wants to move forward in progress. It wants to bring a change to the collective. It wants to bring a change to our life. And the energy of that change, although it can be very tumultuous and disruptive, is always for some kind of healing, some kind of higher progression of energy to bring us someplace we really need to be. How many of us have been through those healing crises, and then we come out the other side and we know it was absolutely meant to happen, even though it was painful, and we're better for it. That's the energy of Uranus. So this week we're going to have a very explosive week as those energies start to come into alignment with each other. It's going to be a week where something happens that is to show us that we can exist without a certain structure that's in our lives. It could be a relationship, it could be a job opportunity, it could be a situation, a place we live, but something will change that will eventually bring us back to our very soul-like power and our power as far as our true purpose. So, put some beautiful intentional energy on those things that you want to have the best outcome with the most gentleness and ease that's absolutely possible for you. So Uranus is a planet that, most of the planets spin in the sky, right? They go in rotations. But Uranus is a planet that is wobbly. There's also a planet that doesn't spin in the same rotation as all of the other planets. Uranus actually spins on its side, almost like if you had a sphere or a frisbee that was on the ground and rotating on the ground. So Uranus spins from side to side. And I always thought that was really appropriate because as a planet of revolution, it has to spin differently than everything else, right? It wants to bring in an energy that we haven't felt before, we haven't been before. So it's a little bit different. It's the anomaly. And the Sun is in Aquarius. And Aquarius is that quirky, unique energy. Aquarius energy is the energy of something's different and accepted in its differences. We embrace the unique, the purple dinosaur, right? And then the moon in Leo is a moon that is all about me. The moon in Leo is the lion, right? Think about Leo. And this beautiful full moon in Leo that's coming in is going to really heighten the me kind of thing. If you know anyone with a Leo moon, the energy is it's all about my feelings. You need to really recognize my feelings because it's all about my feelings. And until you recognize my feelings, we're not progressing forward. It's all about me and how I fit into things and what I'm feeling and what I think is true about myself. Then the Aquarius Sun, who's opposing this full moon and leading up to this in the next few days, is in Aquarius all about the collective. It's not about you. Your feelings aren't as important as the whole, right? So those are the energies that are going to come in conflict. Me, I'm feeling this. Why aren't you recognizing this? Why aren't you being nice to me? This is about me. I don't want to do that. And you should understand why. And then Aquarius comes in and says, what are you talking about? You're so self-centered. This is not about you. It's about the bigger picture. And then Uranus comes in to cause some kind of a conflict, a situation, a revolution, a disruption, let's say, that brings all of that energy into a heightened, intense, volatile, explosive type of energy. So don't be surprised if you see that playing out globally in the news. You see that playing out in your own lives. Basically, if I have to put it in a nutshell, the next few days, starting with Tuesday, Wednesday, into the full moon on Sunday, is basic energy in a nutshell is overthrowing the established order in order to bring you some kind of betterment, and it's going to feel exhilarating. Now, that message of exhilaration can mean exhilarating good, right? Or exhilarating bad. Think of an amusement park and some of those rides, right? It feels really good sometimes to go up on that ride, but it doesn't feel so good to come down, right? And we might feel that in our bodies. We might feel that in an anxious way, that feeling of like dropping, of like, oh, as structures unfold. So really an intense week for everybody. What I would suggest is that with the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo and that axis of me versus the whole, and the moon being so emotional and, you know, defiant, and the sun being so detached and not really caring. And then Uranus sparking both of those things, like electricity storm coming out from Uranus to both of those planets. I would say it's not the week where you're going to have a resolution, not until after Sunday. It's the week where maybe you'll have a truce. Maybe you will come to some kind of an agreement that neither one of you is entirely comfortable with. But it's not the energy of we're going to reconcile this and have our kumbaya moment and everybody's blissfully happy. That is absolutely not going to happen this week, happen with the full moon. So if you have conversations that you want to have with people about certain things, you probably want to have them next week. You probably want to have them somewhere around the 7th, which is Tuesday, which actually works out really well for something I'm doing in my life. So just think about that. A couple of more things about Uranus. Uranus represents the ideal, the idea. So when Uranus was discovered, it was actually kind of tossed all the other planets in the solar system in a little different position because no one thought there was another planet. And then here comes Uranus. So it's a disruptor. It's an energy that is electrical. It also brings out a lot of science and technology. So I would not be surprised if this week we see a lot of that coming to the forefront. Excuse me, I've been saying for a long time that the energy of AI and artificial intelligence is really going to be in the forefront for a while. And in an energy like this, that's the type of energy that is like almost every science fiction book you've ever read or movie you've ever seen where, you know, the AI keeps growing and growing, and with detachment, human beings let it do this, and then it kind of takes over some of our humanness. So we're going to be making some really big decisions in the next year or two about how much humanness we really want to give up for technology. Because don't forget, the main thing we need is connection, right? That's why we're all in the soul space. So this T-square comes in right around the full moon. It's going to make the energy really, really heightened. Maybe I can go and share my screen with, I don't know if I'm a co-host or not, though. Let me see. Yep, I can share. Let me just find the site I want to go to. And then I'm going to look on the chat, see if anybody has any questions. Greg Camarada says, I'm retiring in 2 years. My investments have suffered. What should I focus on for retirement? And there is also talk of Social Security running out. Okay, so totally political, not psychically. As far as Social Security running out, don't really see that happening because, you know, I'm of an age where I'm probably going to be retiring in the next decade or so. And truthfully, that's when I'll be doing astrology all the time. So, and my life coaching. So, I don't think, and the reason why I say that I'm of a group that's going to be retiring in the next 10, 15 years, a big, huge portion of us. Biggest group of Americans on the planet, that baby boomer years, the whole bit. So conceivably, if there was no Social Security, they would have like 1 billion homeless people on the street. So I don't see conceivably Social Security running out and them not replacing it with something. Now, granted, Social Security is not something we can all actually live on anymore. But with the way that corporate America has undone pensions and things, there would have to be something in place for the collective, because what's the alternative? No one over 50 has any money ever. Like, that's not going to work for society, right? So I wouldn't worry about things that are, I don't want to say impossible because anything could happen, but I wouldn't worry and focus too much on things that are improbable, all right? That don't, you know, I try not to buy into the matrix because I could do 5 hours about global controlling. But one thing I know for certain about the matrix is they need consumerism to survive. So, people talk about they want to bankrupt America. They don't want to bankrupt America. The global controllers just want America to be like everybody else, same as all countries all around the world. They want everything to be on an equal footing because then they can control everything. So if we had everyone super, super poor and not able to live, that would not be a benefit to the governments of the world. That would be like basically the apocalypse. So there's going to be something in place. So that being said, just my opinion, all right, not psychically, not anything I predict, just my opinion. But what we should be focusing on if you're going to be retiring in the next 2 years, now this is psychically, is your resources, whatever they may be. Now, we all worry so much about this thing on paper that's our 401s and all these things. Well, do they really exist in reality? They exist on paper. What is your reality? Oh, we have a call coming in. Hi, caller. You're welcome to Soul Space. I guess Bobby will take care of that. So, what exists right now in your present reality, and what are the resources you can use? And then, okay. Hi, caller. It's Georgia from Soul Space. Hey, Aaron, how are you? Can you hold on while I finish up a little bit? Just don't go anywhere. Okay. Don't go anywhere. So I'm answering Gary Camarada's question. So for retirement, what I would do is focus very much on the resources I have at my hand. You have a home or you have whatever. And I would really tap into and visualize the abundance of those resources. Because once we start to go out really far in the future and worry about things, we're already putting that out in the universe. So the universe is going to give us things to worry about in our reality. So right now, stay in the reality that is abundant for you. We all can live much simpler than we do a lot of the time. But I wouldn't be too scared. Those 401 statements that we're all looking at, that is also going to change. I do believe that we're going to see much more centralization going on with those things. But, I don't look at them anymore. I mean, I certainly have investments in my life. I've worked very hard, but I focus on what's in my reality right now. Also, don't listen to the news. Don't listen to the pundits. You want to research things in white paper. I have an amazing financial planner who does all that for me. And I have not lost money or had any reversals in these markets. And I don't look at it because if I don't want to put myself in a place of lack, I want to stay in an abundant mindset. So you have to create your own reality. And you do that by being in gratitude and grateful for what you have. Today, I had enough money to pay my bills. I had enough money to eat my food. I have a beautiful home over my head. Whatever your reality is, stay in the gratitude of that. 2 years, 3 years out, you'll deal with it when it happens. I'm certainly not going to give anybody financial advice, but I certainly think that we all are in a place where we need to stay in our reality. Because if you're going to go further out, like 2 years out, the global controllers want to put you in a lack mindset because you're easier to control when you're in fear. So don't go in that. Stay in your abundance, stay in everything is fine in my life right now. Thank you, whatever higher power you believe in, for giving me all this abundance. And that's what I would do. And that answer is not a cop-out. And some of you out there that want like financial guru prediction information will think it's a cop-out. And it's not, because unless you're right in your mind and you're right in your head and you're right in your soul, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world, in your finances. It's not going to be good unless you're straight. And that's what's Inkudo about, making yourself straight to have everything that you need in your life. So Gary, I would just stay in abundance, stay in gratitude, take the precautions that you need to take that you feel are right for you, but do not buy into that fear factor, that lack mentality. That is what the global controllers want us to do, because we're so much more easier controlled in fear, and we'll make poor decisions. The best advice, one of my mentors, a beautiful gentleman who's a billionaire, personal friend, and he gave me wonderful business advice. And one thing he told me was, he said, do not ever make a decision out of vulnerability. And I have carried that into every aspect of my life, from business to personal to romance to everything. And it's always served me really well. So make your decisions from a seat of power. Okay, Aaron, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think I think what you're feeling is that healthy detachment. My banner's coming off here. Let me fix my banner. I think what you're feeling is that healthy detachment. I think that we're all going to start to feel a little bit more detached in this energy, emotional, but yet detached. It's weird because that's the Leo, the moon going into Leo, and the sun in Aquarius. So that's probably why you feel that way. And then also, I feel for you personally, my chair is stuck. That energy today. I feel for you personally, Aaron, just going into your energy, I feel that the stuff that you just the stuff that just recently fell away for you is really creating a clearing that you need. And so I think you're going to feel things are going to start to lighten up more and more and more as you allow yourself to feel that clearing and that spaciousness. Because even though it might be a little bit heavy now, I think the fact that you had a little bit of loss, it's really a redirection and an adjustment for you. It's a place, it's like, if I took this iPad, right, and I put it in the other room, I have this big space on my desk where it was. And I can, look at that space and feel sad that my iPad's no longer there, that I maybe need it or think I need it. Or I can look at that space and just be really grateful for it. Aaron, are you still there? I think we lost Aaron. Man, can we get any more glitches going tonight? Yeah, that's what I keep getting all these weird glitches the whole day. Like we couldn't get on Zoom, we couldn't get on the studio. Ah, okay. So breathe, everybody. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's energy or what. I've been in teacher training and I did this whole sacred thing over the weekend with I made a mala with intention and I'm wearing that and the energy is very heightened around me and I think it's like buzzy and weird. But anyway, good weird, good weird. So what I was saying, I don't know how much you heard, the space that you've cleared recently, and this is for everybody out there, especially all of us this week are going to start to undergo clearings. A lot of clearing happening. So the space that you're clearing and that you have cleared, we can look at that space and feel sad and heavy and lament that whatever has fallen away is no longer there, right? Like I use the analogy, I have an iPad on the desk. I go and I put my iPad in the other room, and now I come back and I have this space on the desk, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad. I really needed my iPad, or I thought I needed my iPad. Or I can look at that space on the desk and say, wow, it feels so roomy and good. I can stretch out a little bit now, and I can put something that I really want to put in that place. What will I create in that space? So I think what you're feeling, and I think what a lot of us will start to feel as we undergo this transition in the next little while, the next few days, is first we're going to feel a little bit of a heaviness of the loss, but very quickly we kind of recover and start to realize that this is not a closing, it's not an ending, it's an opening, because it's a revolution, right? Uranus is the planet of revolution, and that doesn't mean like the revolutionary war, go get your musket and start shooting people to get your own way. A revolution is like an evolution, right? Circles revolve. So with every ending, it's a beautiful new beginning, sunset, sunrise, right? So I think that's kind of the energy that's coming in now, and you're probably just ahead of us all and feeling it a little more based on where your planets are. Yeah. Remember that polarity, that everything's a circle. We descend and then we ascend, and we descend and we ascend, right? So grab onto your ascension, I feel like your roller coaster is starting to go up. Yep. Well, because we have to live in the world. Yeah. We have to live in the world. So we're going to have that disconnection and then reconnection. Did we lose Aaron again? Okay. So I think you're going to have a reconnection now. Yeah. And the 22s too. I know I always see the number 22 a lot. And that's a master number. It's a number that for me, when I see 1111 or 22, 22, 22 or a combination, it's really spirit saying that you're in the right place. Right. Yeah. And you know, Aaron, that pain that you'll feel, that loss that you feel, you know from other things in life, number one, it's not permanent. You know, just like that revolution, it comes back up, right? And it goes away, it heals. And the other thing to realize about that is there's a lot of wisdom in it. So now we're always changing. So now when you get that wisdom from whatever you went through that challenge, now the next time you have a challenge like that, you've got more wisdom and more wisdom. You're not the same person that you were the last time you went through something similar. You're a different person now. And that's really the evolution and the beautiful miracle that spirit gives us so that we can elevate in our life and keep getting better and better at our challenges. So I'm going to pull a card for you. I think you're doing great. And I actually think everything that happened to you is a good thing. Going to look at my comments for a minute. Okay, pulling, okay. I got to go to comments. Oh, I always lose track of time. Every time, I'll give you guys some insight into me. I always get nervous before the show. I'm like, oh my God, I know what I'm going to talk about. I know what's going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. And then the show goes so fast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, Aaron, what have I got for you? And that new apartment you sent me pictures of looks gorgeous. Oh, Aaron, I hope, do not take this the wrong way because I know sometimes you go to the dark side. I got the death card. This is such a great card for you because it means the endings are beginnings. This is a great card. If you look at the death card, the person is the death sitting on the horse is moving the horse forward. The horse in trot, which means movement, which means let things fall away. And the second card that I picked was one of the best cards in the deck, 10 of Pentacles, which is all abundance. So it all had to fall away to open up the space for your abundance. Wow, these cards are perfect cards for you tonight, actually. It tells the story. So have that faith. Know that you've got stuff coming in that's really, really great. I've been telling you this for a while, and it's going to happen. Okay? And also, when you showed me the little video, I know you messaged me a little video of that apartment. I feel really good energy in that place. I think you're going to meet new people there. Yeah. I think you're going to like it here. I have a feeling that this place is going to open up to a lot of things. So I want to go to comments now. So I'm going to hang up, but stay on because I think that you'll get a lot out of the show. And I'm so proud of you because I think you're really dealing with a lot of things like really well. So I'm going to send some. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say I think you're going to come to a decision that you don't realize. Yeah. Well, just follow your heart, honey. Okay. Thank you for calling in. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Oh my gosh, Christine Cameron said every time she logs in, she's number 11. I love that. I think that is so good. So cool. Really cool. Okay, so I know Chris Cole wants a card. Let me pull a card for Chris. Okay. Yeah, Michelle says that nervousness happens to her too. I know, it's just anticipatory anxiety. In my yoga teacher training right now, we're talking a lot about our conditioning and things that come up all the time and just having more of an awareness of it. And it's very interesting what comes up. Okay, so for Chris Cole, I'm going to pick a card for you, Chris. Chris, I hope you're taking care of yourself and your health because I'm getting the balance card for you. So make sure that you're hydrating, drinking lots of water, eating correctly, I feel like something's out of balance health-wise. Nothing serious or major, just something that maybe you need to take a little more notice of. So if there is a health issue, let me know in the comments or something, because I'm just feeling like you need more attention. Your body wants more attention from you. And that's another thing that came up today. When we have an ache or a pain, like I'm actually, believe it or not, going through something now with very bad bursitis, which is so much better than it was. But yoga is like the cure for everything. But whenever our body has an ache or a pain or anything, and I feel so funny because when I had to go to PT a few times, and when I go to PT, like everyone there is like 80. And on the one hand, I'm like, okay, this is good because it shows people are living longer, and I'm kind of like, yeah, kudos to the old folk. But then I start to think like, am I old because I'm here with all these people? So then you start thinking about the labels, right? And one of the things we learned in yoga this week was, don't say anything about yourself that you don't want to be true. Is that not like a gem? So as I was, doing my reps and everything on the table, and I'm thinking these thoughts, I'm like, no, stop it, Georgia. You don't want to be old. So why are you thinking that? So take that with you this week, guys, because we're all in for a rough week. So do not say anything about yourself that you don't want to be true. All right. So as I started out to say, when the body tells us pain or has a discomfort or something, really just take a pause and breathe into that and really become aware of it, because that's your body asking you for attention. Your body is screaming for attention. Usually we're neglecting something on our body and it's saying, hey, I'm over here. You need to take care of me. So just remember that when you have an ache or a pain. All right. So Chris, if you're going through anything like that, your body wants attention from you. All right. Who else have I got? I got to go. Oh, got a lot of comments. All right. Good evening. Hey, everybody. Oh, people are tagging people. I love it. Yeah, a lot of endings, Elaine. Want to talk about that a little bit. I feel like this is very much a lot of endings, and even pets I'm seeing actually go to the other side now. And that is because we have a lot of transits happening. And especially in the next, little while, we've got a lot of transits happening. And a lot of them are energy that's building up and building up and building up. So we've got lots of energy that's changing. And it's energy that's changing after being a certain way for a long time. Like the planet Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008 and is now going to start to egress into Aquarius. We've got Venus is now in Pisces, which it was in Aquarius also for a while, and Aries for a while. And we've got the biggie, Jupiter. A lot of these planets are all changing come between now and March. So it's like a buildup of energy, but it's also a finalization. I like to think of it as, tying up the loose end. It's the energy becomes heightened in the last degrees of these signs. And when it does that, it has a tendency to end timelines. So there are timelines from 2008. There are timelines from 2012. There are timelines of things now that Mars and Mercury are really out of shadow and out of their retrograde. They're going to be tying up things that began in September for us. So we have a lot of energy that's culminating now. And when I say culminating, I mean it's ending the cycle to begin a new cycle, right? So think of it of, sometimes we have painful breakups with people, and it could be a friendship breakup or a work partnership breakup or a romantic breakup. And we think of that as an ending. But actually that energy is culminating. It's transmuting to something else. Maybe in that relationship you were very dependent or very held down, or someone was encroaching on your space. And now that that relationship isn't there anymore, the energy within you that was in that form transmutes to be more independent and more powerful, or maybe you were always a powerful person and connected, and you start a relationship and now you become more encroached upon and you're giving up your power. So the energy culminates, it ends one cycle and begins another. And that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of in the weeks to come. To give you guys dates, all right, I have my big book here of everything, my Bible of astrology. So I do this every year. so I know what's going on. All right, so I want to just give you guys a couple of dates, and I would write these down or put them in your phone or whatever, all right? Because these are important. Major planetary changes this year. You've got Mars finishing that retrograde. That happened on January 12th. It was a 6-month retrograde. So that's why now the energy feels like it's moving more. It's going to steadily keep doing that. It's almost like you know when you go skiing and you push off and you start to go and then you really go. That's what this energy is going to be like in March. It really hits the downhill. Saturn enters Pisces on March 7th. Saturn's been in a comfortable sign of Capricorn and Aquarius for a very, very long time, about 4 or 5 years. Both those signs Saturn is very comfortable in. Now going into Pisces, that's a water sign. It's going to be totally different. Saturn comes out of where it's at home. So the energy is really going to change March 7th. And then March 23rd, we've got Pluto entering Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. Pluto is our structures. So that's why we're going to see so many changes with those things. And then Jupiter goes into Aries until May 16th, when then it enters Taurus. Venus retrogrades in Leo this summer, which is a huge thing I'll talk about then. But then also in July, we have the nodes of the moon shifting. So all of these shifts are going to really change up the energy. You know how the last 2 years with the COVID story and all that stuff, we felt like the energy was stagnated, like we just couldn't get out of this loop, Now this year, things start to like really change rapidly. And we're like, oh, wait, oh, no, I got to go over here now. Oh, wait, no, I'm going over here now. And that's how the energy is. And we're building up to that. And this full moon in Leo is a big part of it. So if you're having body aches, if your body's asking for attention, take care of it, because you're going to need your body in peak performance to really go down that hill and hit those moguls that are coming. Also, Uranus this Sunday, especially when that full moon hits, Uranus is going to bring a lot of electrical energy. So you may feel some anxiety in the physical body from that. You know, the planets do play a really big part in that. Emotions are going to be really in play a lot as well. All right, I'm going to pull a couple more cards for you guys. Just remember the next few days, you know, if this hits you like the Leo moon, you're going to feel like, you know, very dramatic about your emotions and me. And you guys, everybody stand up and take notice. I'm important. Nothing's more important than me. It's going to be a very declarative thing. It's going to be people coming in and declaring their emotions. I'm angry and you better do something about it. It's like that, you know. I deserve this and you better give it to me. It's that kind of emotion. Then that opposes the sun, right? Full moons. That opposes the sun in Aquarius. That's going to be more or less like, listen, I don't really care about your emotions. It's about the bigger picture, blah, blah, blah. Fight, conflict. So just know that's coming in, and it's coming in a big way. All right. What else can I tell you about that? I'm sure you all have detached people in your life. There's also a fixed energy. That's what it was. There's a fixed energy, so it's going to come in slowly Tuesday, Wednesday, and then gain speed, but it's not going to move. That's why the conflicts that arise are not going to be reconciled until after this energy is over next week. Because it's stuck there, you know. All right, so what have I got here? Yeah, a lot of challenging energy. I agree. All right. Hey, Gina's on. Hey, Gina. Okay. All right, I'm going to pull some cards for you guys. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about tonight? Okay. So that's the astrology. Also, if you like my pages, Zenkuda Soul Space, Instagram, Zenkuda Official, and my YouTube channel, Zenkuda, you'll see a lot of astrology videos, a lot of spiritual wisdom, tarot pulls, things like that. So I'm going to pull this card for, who am I choosing tonight? Whoop, whoop. I am going to pull a card for Elaine, because I know Elaine's got a lot of closings happening and a lot of energy moving away. Elaine's planning a big move. And so let's pull 2 cards for her. Okay. Remember, folks, don't say anything about yourself you don't want to be true. Okay. This is so funny. We just said, Elaine, you're moving, right? We get the Chariot card. So this is about making decisions to move forward. I feel like you're having some, and it would be normal in this energy, having some decisions to make about, should I stay? Should I go? When should I actually go? What should I take? What shouldn't I take? Very nostalgic in this energy, I can see. The other card I pulled was the Knight of Wands. I feel this is a male energy that's pulling you forward. Maybe it's your son that's down where you're moving to, but I feel like this energy, you're being pulled. And I feel it's almost like somebody has one arm and somebody has the other arm, and you're like, whoa, whoa. But what I want you to do is allow the pulling to come from your center, your heart. And what might help you in this energy, because I know you're undergoing so many changes, and whenever we're doing a big move after we've lived somewhere a long time, it's very, it's challenging, right? And the heart space really feels it. So what I would love to see you do is in the morning when you wake up, before you even get out of bed, maybe breathe through the heart space. To take that in breath as though your nostrils or your lungs were right in the heart chakra, the heart space, and breathe into your heart and out through the top of your head, through your crown, in through the heart, out through the crown, and then reverse it. And let this beautiful energy cleanse and pass through head and heart. Because what I'm feeling in your energy, Elaine, is that you need to connect to the heart. You're starting to get too much in here, even though it might not feel like it emotionally. The heart's going to lead you forward, not backwards. And I really feel like this is where you need to be led, is more forward. The other thing I was going to say is, if you can develop some kind of a mantra or intention for this transitional time in your life, might be a mantra of safety and security, or just divine love. But as you're breathing in through that heart space, repeat that mantra, let the energy come out through the crown and then back into the crown through the heart space, and you exhale. And you do some rotations one way into the heart and exhale for a little while through the head and then reverse it. And I think it's a cleansing, it's a steadying, and it's also a very powerful breath to center yourself in that beautiful connection with spirit and divine love. So I feel like this younger male figure is pulling you forward by the heart. You need to move the Chariot forward. The thing that gives us anxiety or too much heaviness is inactivity. So when you are undergoing that move, you want to make sure you keep moving that Chariot forward, okay? And I'm going to pull one more card to confirm the cards for you. And I got the Balance card. So there you go, sweetie. Allow the heart to pull you forward, not the material world, into beautiful new experiences. Release what you have to, breathe through that heart space and get your balance back, because you're getting yourself off balance. All right. Okay. So, whoops, I can't find my comments. Okay. Yeah, hearts for Elaine, definitely. Everybody send Elaine some yeah, daughter and two sons. Yeah, so but definitely breathe through your heart, because I think you just need an anchoring and set some kind of a mantra for yourself, even if it's just I am divine love, or I am safe, or all things are as they should be. Something simple would be so beautiful, okay, what else do I have on here? Yeah. All right. And I would love to hear, well, Claire's on. I got to pick a card for Claire. So if anybody has anything they want to put in the comments, because I know I pulled some cards for somebody a few weeks ago, and afterwards they were telling me like what I had, how accurate it was. And sometimes it's just nice to hear that confirmation to let everybody know. Okay. Yeah, it's been a challenging week in a lot of ways for all of us. I think a lot of us. Okay, Claire, I got the Balance card for you as well. And it's so funny because you saw me shuffle everything in the deck, but I also got this beautiful card of New Beginnings. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever is on your mind to go forward, a new project or a new, could be a new event you're planning or something with family. I feel like it's something that's actually going to bring your balance back. Like maybe you've been focused too much in one area and this pulls you back to balance with the other. The Ace of Pentacles is usually new beginnings. in tarot. So this is definitely about planning something to do with a new beginning and it bringing you back to your balance and joy and something that you really love to do from that heart space. So see what comes in this week, because I have a feeling that something is definitely going to come in with this Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles can also be abundance materially, but I feel like psychically right now, I feel like this is abundance more of the heart space, love. And for some reason, like in this card, my eye is going to this beautiful hedgerow that's arched. And I believe I had seen something, I know on social media, that someone just got engaged with you in your family. I think this has something to do with that bringing in all new energy and joy for you. And something to do with maybe you plan something to do with that or take a part in that. And it just brings you back to that balance of what's really important to you and meaningful. You know, I think we all get caught up sometimes in our earthbound lives, and it loses a little bit of that spark. And I feel like this is bringing the spark back, whatever it is. Also, I want to say your dog just popped into my head. I know her name is Grace. And I think that is why I'm getting that, because this is grace. This is a message of something coming in and just feeling that beautiful grace from spirit or whatever higher power you believe in that really puts you back on track for that, you know, just uplifting feeling. So really beautiful card. So take that with you, Grace. Yeah, you said it was your son. Yeah. And take that with you, Claire, because I think that beautiful feeling of grace it really feels like that. Like this is really a love match, I feel like, and it kind of like envelops the people around it, get caught up in that joy. So really enjoy that time, because I feel like it's just going to be so special for you, and brings people together, you know, and you get that buzz from it. So yeah, it's a really good thing. It's nice, and it's nice to read that, because a lot of the readings lately have been a little bit heavy. So it's nice to know that we have that joy coming in. So everybody send some hearts up to Claire for her son's good fortune, because that's really beautiful. I'm going to pick a card for, yeah, I know Chris Cole says that the energy sounds exciting. And that's it. Like, that's why I use the word exhilarating, because it's almost like, you know how I remember, and this is a funny story, but I remember being in Universal Studios. I worked for a very large company at the time, and they closed down Universal Studios so we could all have like this private day there. And one of my colleagues, I was afraid of like scary rides. And one of my colleagues told me that the only reason why they had lockers in this ride was because you got wet, and it was really not a scary ride. So I put all my belongings in the locker and thought that this ride was going to be pretty tame. And I should have known, because the ride was named Revenge of the Mummy. And I got in this seat, and then the ride literally was like a blackout. The lights all went out. We were indoors. The light all went out. And I was in this like car, like with the harness, and this ride went backwards and dropped like 100 feet. And I never recovered. I was like out of it. So that's what I mean by this exhilarating energy. It's exciting, but it's like you have that moment of like, oh, you know, and then it gets okay. That's kind of the week coming up. We're going to have those moments of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, wait, oh, I'm okay. So just go with it. And allow yourself to feel the exhilaration that comes with it. I always say, no matter how dense the energy is, there's always a reward. You know, there's always something that comes. The intention of the universe is always healing. So whatever changes, whatever things you need to let go of, whatever space you need to navigate to get to be at your full potential in life, whatever you have to release to get there, the intention is always healing and for your betterment. All right. I'm going to pick a card for, I'm going to pick somebody now. Let me do Janine. I know Janine's been working really hard. She's got some goals coming up. So let me do Janine. And then I've only got 5 more minutes left on the show. Next week, I will be back in our regular studio. Bobby has been creating all new studios for us in Massapequa. He got tired of the old ones. I don't know if you're listening, Bob, but I know that he is so creative. He's in the zone. It's contagious. I'm getting it from him. And I'm going to pull a card for Janine before we say goodnight. If anybody has anything else they want to put in the comments, if anybody needs a special prayer, I'd like to send prayers up for my friend who's in hospice. Really a tough one for her. And we're just hoping that her